Welcome back, ladies and gentlefolk. We're coming through these satellite areas here. This is new ground we're treading here. Never been here before. We are heading over to the sandy plateaus near Sunfall, the very edge of Forbidden West. Oh, we've got Rockbreaker that wants to know about us. But we're going to ignore him. We are going to ignore him in a big way. We're going to ignore everyone. We're going straight through. Over to this edge, to the edge of the Forbidden West, which Sunfall protects. It's a place that was... Well, we'll find out about it soon enough in various logs, diaries and data points. But this was built and blocked off because the Forbidden West was too treacherous for the Karja to infiltrate, so it just blocked it off to protect against the howling Forbidden West. And I think we'll hear from a certain gentleman in a moment.
The Mad King Duran's summer palace, a bulwark of Karja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
They have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, let's get out of the way of these machines. This is going to be, in terms of story, just thick with things to understand. This is where it all makes sense. At the moment, we know about Project Zero Dawn, about Operation Enduring Victory, looking for the time, clawing back the time it needs to make Project Zero Dawn a reality. But we don't know what that is. We know that Elizabeth and her alphas, her special hand-picked scientists and machine experts.
Here they come.
We know that they did enough to for humanity to survive. But what did they do? Okay, we can pick up a side quest over there, which is great. We will do, but let us do this. We've got the Kestrels over here training the elite Shadow Karja soldiers, training to protect. But at the moment, because the focus network is down, we can access this without being
I heard old Bahavas is
noticed.
hiring cutthroats to weed out enemies and traitors.
Bahavas. So he is like the shadow puppet behind the Shadow Karja over here. He is controlling everything, along with Helis. Let's see what this guy's got. Yeah, we still need those boar skins and all sorts of things. We're doing all right for weapons. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there organically. There it is, the famed Sun Ring. That's where Duran put so many different tribes to death, and it's being used today.
The Sun Ring. Proud rich.
It's not like it's Meridian, at least.
And in time, I'm sure they miss it.
Okay, so this is for entertainment rather than anything else. There don't seem to be too many people watching. Oh, there are a fair few. There are a fair few. In this gladiatorial ring. But let's head up here.
Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful.
What are you talking about? Did I crash the network or not?
In theory, all should be well. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy. I'll check back with you in a moment. In the meantime, circulate.
Okay, these are the main dudes. Great Shadow Kestrel.
Well fed.
Look at this guy. Mean as hell. Highly trained soldiers.
Outlanders, if you want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here.
So there's Oseram there, there's Banuk, there's Karja.
I'll take the shards, even if it means having to listen to Bahavas.
I hear the Shadow Cards are looking for one of their own. Should pay well.
Okay, it's into the throne room. We'll hear from Bahavas.
I know I shouldn't say this. I already miss seeing Uthid around sunfall.
By the glory of the sun revealed. Behold, radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King, the light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law!
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
By the will of radiant Edaman does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
More prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair.
Not only did the wretch conspire to
You and I need to
infiltrate
chat,
the citadel
little huntress.
and assassinate
The green
one
tent
true
down
king,
in Shadowside.
but he refused
I'll
to
be waiting.
surrender when discovered
Kinda busy.
and fled. And in doing so, demonstrated wanton disregard for the safety
We both know
of
you're
the
no killer for
king's
hire.
subjects.
Uthid is innocent. So come see
Go
me
forth then,
while there's still
outlanders,
time to save
and
him.
do the will of the sun.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. And you needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from on high.
But the Kestrels.
Ah, they want us to see this, boy. It makes quite an impression.
Okay, so Vanasha wants to
When I thought of loyalty, I thought of Uthid.
go after her friend Uthid. Uthid is a hunter
Taking it.
The balustrade. It's a short drop from there.
who is no longer a friend of Bahavas, so he is hiring people for bounty. But look at the sun ring down
Watch
here.
some slaughter. This is the place to do it.
I don't like heights.
You worry me, boy. You worry me.
Okay, we're going to peel away from this little crowd. Okay, I think we need to go down. So, beneath here is Project Zero Dawn.
The other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
I think it warns us that this is going to be it for a while.
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride.
Right, I think we've got enough to be going on with. Maybe we're not wearing the right stuff for this. I can't remember what we come across. We think we definitely come across some folk. So let us look at modifying this outfit to be very good at ranged attacks. Let's wear this. Not sure I like it, but we fit in with these bounty hunters being predominantly Oseram. But anyway, they don't know what we're doing down here. Off we go. Project Zero Dawn.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you'll have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan.
Silence has got the breakthrough he needs.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
Are you kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way.
Oh, God.
Hey! Elizabeth
Shut up.
Sobek here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated you. See, by now,
A situation they've never come across before.
Guess you can't have everything.
That will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Okay, we're going to come across some Kestrels.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Right, there's 2 data points here, but this is some kind of reception hall. This welcomed people. This is the lounge staff. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators, fluent in Polish, for example, security staff who can subdue and range at the embryologist, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well behaved, but we need to help handling the exceptions to the rule. Please respond. And our biggest question is, why are they so enraged? But whatever is going on behind there, the lounge staff do not know. That's interesting. We need support too. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing Zero Dawn candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Langbots are not sufficient. And mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these mails. So the reason they're enraged at the moment is because they've been plucked by General Harris's men from various parts of the world without... they've had no choice. They've had to come here to be inducted into this this project. There's no time for them to consider it. They've got to come here, be told the gravity of the situation, and hope that they realise that, okay, you needed to get me here quickly, so I forgive you for that. But some are not ready to forgive. Some are really unhappy.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called.
So they come through.
Selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
So they come through the lounge and they wait here, ready to be siphoned into the next room. What's in here? So, restock or else. So for the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber, mint or blackberry sage varietals, I'm going to lose it. Please respond. And this time, no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes. So they're able to hold some semblance of humour throughout the situation because they don't know the gravity. Behind that door, there has got as many answers as the people who have just arrived. Soundproofing. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates awaiting their turn in the lounge. So they can't hear what they've just witnessed, but they can hear their response to it.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
This lays it all out. This lays it all out.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
ZB-01 data intact. Initiating playback.
General Harris.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program. And it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day, the day that life on Earth ceases to exist, is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
Okay, so Zero Day did arrive, and it was inevitable. Enduring Victory was just to give the time for Project Zero Dawn to come about, but Project Zero Dawn was not the saviour of humanity at that time. It was a plan for way in the future. what's interesting is in order to shut down the machines, they need to come up with a code, and that code was going to take 50 years to decrypt. And 50 years they did not have. They had 16 months. So people have come into VR1 to hear that message. They have realised that everyone outside of this room, everyone they loved, is going to die. There's no saving them. There's no saving themselves. They are here for a purpose, something else, and they haven't got a clue what it is. So they need to come to terms with their own mortality. And they do so by coming through this door, shaken and probably aghast at what they've walked into. They've been snatched from their homes or places of work or wherever in various different countries. They've been brought here and told that they're going to die and everyone they love. So imagine that if you will, because I can't.
Kestrels.
Okay.
They got in through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Right, we have not got time to consider it yet. How many are there? Right, this guy, I think we can afford to take out. They're just 3. It's just 3. Plenty of things to listen to and read, but we want to take care of these guys first. Let's try this. Burn, my pretty.
Stop me! Clip me! What else you got?
Right, let's grab this guy out.
Baby! What else you got?
Oh my word. There we are.
Good. We're too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
Let's start with this one up here. So, interview with Dr. Su Wei.
There is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible, but it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
We're going to be able to answer some of these questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
So she's wondering what her education, what her joys and desires are going to matter in this world now. Art's not good. You know, it's got no function anymore. And there's also a monk there. What function has religion got when there's no minds to hold those values within? It's very confusing. There was a biophysicist, so you can see how that might be of help for some reason. But art and religion, what is that going to do now? There's no minds to excite or, soothe. And why tell them that? Indeed, why tell them that? Fire Striker. I want to pick it up a bit over here. They're wondering why they need to be told that they're going to die. Right, let's look in here.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said, not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
So Suzanne Alpert presided over an operation to make things grow after a nuclear event that basically scorched the Earth, and she's saying she failed. So she's obviously here for a reason, for her experience. So she is dying to know. She's very stoic. She didn't really listen to what Harris says. She understands that the world is ending, but she's just dying to know what Project Zero Dawn is. And I'm kind of confused why they did it in two parts, showing you the world has ended, and then maybe they needed people to come to terms with that before they excited them with Project Zero Dawn. Maybe it was better to get people on board, to get people's buy-in, to quote a corporate phrase, to get people's buy-in if they calm down. Okay, these are councillors' notes. Candidates must be allowed to ask questions, we'll find out here, and be given time to fully absorb the information they have received. It's important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It's essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life has been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarise yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, and unfeasibility of maintaining life in orbital, lunar or undersea structures, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. Well, there is a lunar structure there, Odyssey, but we'll find out more about that soon. If a candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidates can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus. Security and medical crisis teams are data corrupted, standing by, or something like that. So this is just, they need them to be calm and lucid to be able to, for them to take Zero Dawn in. Interview with Captain Okilo. Oh, missed that one. Interview with Captain Okilo.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Right, Captain Aquilo seems like she is open to helping come up with some sort of solution to this disgusting problem that they have. Right. Ron Felder.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey?
Here we
That
go.
multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since 57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
Okay, well that person was venting and going a bit crazy. I'm not sure the councillors have knowledge of what Project Zero Dawn is. They just, well, they probably do, don't they? They probably have all the knowledge that they need, but they can't let them know about anything. They're just here to listen and observe and understand. Okay, we've got a ton of stuff in here, I think. How do we get in? Okay. So these are interview ports, I think. Tom Peach.
That is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people. They feed off them?
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life produced a bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pike wants a word.
Pike.
Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
So, thinking about the biofuel, I've just connected the dots after full playthroughs, but the biofuel must be what the blaze, right? That fuels all the machines.
Should have brought a cart.
Okay, let's grab the other ones of these. Travis Tate, he's a character.
Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, there was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeet was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place? You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
Wow, she didn't really like him as a personality, but he is staying calm and pragmatic, and so he is some kind of corporate terrorist, and he caused problems for Sterling Malkeet, and then he came on the run. But General Harris knew exactly how to get him, and he's here for some reason. He's in charge of something quite important. Travis Tate. And he is a cool cucumber. He likes to smoke, likes to drink coffee. Quite contradictory as well, because he wants to stop the corporate squeeze of people, but he'll drink coffee that has been farmed under adverse, unhumanitarian means. Very strange person. Brad Andak.
You previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines? I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
So Brad, since this all kicked off, he's just been kicking himself, because he was basically instrumental in creating it under Ted Farrow's orders, and implemented his will, basically. And he's been willing himself to be arrested for war crimes, and he wants to pay, and he's feeling guilty as hell. But the thing is, in this world now, there's no judgment. Everything is forgiven, because nothing matters. There's no one going to judge you, because there's no people left to judge you. Wrongdoing is in the eye, is in the minds of others. It's subjective. Now they've just got one aim, and the best person involved, doesn't matter if they've touched 1,000 children. I'm sure it doesn't come to that. That's a terrible analogy, but what I'm saying is all is forgiven. Touched 1,000 children. You can't say that, can you? You can't say that. Okay, have we got everything that we wanted to from here? I believe that we have. Okay, so this was the room for them to calm down and be monitored and judged whether they were fit for the next room. And I believe this is the next room. This is where we hear about Project Zero Dawn. Hell yes.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
So a ton of answers there already, but what those answers did was produce more questions. But what we found out there was an AI was the crux of it. They were spending all this time, as the 16 months was to produce this AI, this mother nature, that could then, when humanity was gone, carry on and produce all the things, the subordinate functions it needed to combat this destruction. It would start after the machines had been shut down, and that code would take a fair few years to sort out. And the Spire would send out that code to all the machines around the world and stop them from consuming the biomass, shut them down for good. And then Gaia would set up all these subordinate functions that would clean the Earth, terraform the Earth, create machines to do the work for them, create these underground facilities that would create all that infrastructure. And then once that was done, they would release flora and fauna in the world, allow it to flourish. And then with Aletheia, it would put humanity back onto the Earth to start producing again, to start to rebuild and procreate. And so that they don't make the same mistakes again. There was a suite of an education suite that put all these people through, and they'd pass that down for generations, all the things they needed to accelerate sort of civilization to getting back to doing what it needed to do without making those mistakes. But we're here, but we didn't get that learning, and we need to know why. So it worked to a certain extent, but not as Elizabeth Sobek, our almost identical genetic clone of her we are. She managed to set most of it in motion. So the candidates have heard about the end of the world. They've heard about this project, and so they are going to be inducted into doing that in the next 16 months. So the artists, the monks, the physicists, the machinists, the environmental experts are all going to have their niche in producing and empowering an AI to be able to do all this. Absolutely crazy. So much in that to unpack. They showed stormbirds and snapmaws that were able to clean the earth of its pollution. That's crazy. And other things as well. So much. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility now. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counsellors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. So you can participate. You'll be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You'll be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week. What is that? That is 11 or 12 hour day. And your communications with your family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. So they won't die immediately. They can continue the remainder of their life in an underground habitat, never to see the sun again. Or you can choose indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. And they can just go straight for medical euthanasia. The information you've just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counsellor when you're ready to make your choice. Well, it's a no-brainer. It's a bloody no-brainer. For me, just put yourself to work for a slice of life afterwards, whatever that life may hold. Whatever that life may hold. Yeah, it's got to be a brave person to just end it all right then and there. I guess the trauma of losing your family members. But what you're doing here is fighting for your immediate family to continue their life. Anyway, so much to think about for these guys. What have we got here? So, Brad and Deck.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, They were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves we weren't cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. A better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
He's overwhelmed with that fact that he's able to undergo this now. We've done that one, all right? We've done. No, we haven't. This is Suzanne Alpert.
If you're still nauseous. No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this, but the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock? You grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety. I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family? I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years. I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words. I'm sorry. Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over. I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Okay, well, we're just going to explain the finer details to Suzanne there, but she'd seen too much death in her field of work to know that it could come back. She'd seen too much failure in being able to bring back life in these areas that were scorched. She had no family. She had no purpose. She didn't want to be stuck underground. She realised she couldn't procreate, so she was... she called it terminal burial. So she's opting for the other way out. So quite a stark contrast between characters. Brad saw it as a way to atone. Suzanne just saw it as futile. It's amazing how different people can see the same thing in completely different ways. The mind is a crazy, crazy thing. It can take such positive, beautiful views on the world, or it can just destroy it with its negativity. It's crazy. And that same one person can do those two things in the same day. I find it extraordinary.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security. For your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. This kind of blue skying, it's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What are you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Well, I hope Ron takes his 48 hours to cool down before he opts for imprisonment on euthanasia. But, yeah, he doesn't trust Elizabeth Sobek one bit. I imagine she's quite famed for her work with Pharaoh. But if the media is as divisive and controlling as it is now, there'll be so many people that she'll be perhaps painted in a dark way as perhaps too liberal thinking, and demonized for some reason, for some stupid reason, by the press. And so people like Ron would come in with preconceptions about the validity of her thinking, of her plan, and immediately coloured their opinions and their decisions, and not being open to that because of that sort of legacy that they brought with them. Okay, let's continue to look around. We've got... What have we got? We've got an extraordinary purple box here. Pick up stranded shackles. What is that? The fuck is stranded shackles? This mysterious item is valuable only to the most curious merchants. Shackles made from an unknown smooth material. Oh, looks like we can sell that then. Perhaps in Meridian. Shackles. Wow. So these are perhaps the shackles used to house the people that didn't want to play ball. What have we got in here? Anything? Okay, let's just check. We're not missing anything else. As I usually do. Oh, there's something here. Councillor Guidelines 2. So this is for the debriefing after the presentation. It's vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the councillor. Confirm the candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasise that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, emphasise the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation, acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish, and allow access to supplemental articles GO1 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process the documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It's important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counsellors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasise that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which, corrupted. Okay. So they couldn't, the nature of the work they needed to put into the project, they've already snatched them against their will. Anything more needs to be purely at their own decision. Let's just carry on round here. Just make sure I've got everything that we require. Yes, we have. We have. Okay. The plot thickens. Let's enter this next room.